Hi, everybody. So, what a weird weekend. I started producing shorts on YouTube. For the first time, I had almost 2,000 views on something that I've produced. I just wanted to jump in really quick here and note that 2,000 views is not a lot in the scheme of things. I know people have millions of followers and millions of views, but for me, this was a large number for the first time. I've had like 800 here and there, and the higher numbers always seem to come when I've had like an absence. So this was the first time I actually put something out there, and yeah, it actually got comments, and likes and dislikes. And it's funny, doing this, you have to kind of have a thick skin. And I guess it was like so weird to me because it was just a little snippet about time zones in Antarctica. People got someone got oddly political about it. And it didn't affect me in terms of like, make me not want to do this or turn it away. And I'm expecting that if I ever have a viral moment, that there will be way more of that kind of stuff. And then I shouldn't obsess about an 85% like rate. It's just so weird to suddenly have that kind of attention and scrutiny put on me that, I was kind of shocked and a little shook, if you will. But anyway, let's see, anything else that's new? Well, the boss, she's back. Right now, she's kind of, she's been in a little bit of trouble today because the boss actually does have a boss. Those are her grandparents. And yeah, she was kind of misbehaving a little bit today. So she's being slightly clingy with me, but I take any love from the boss when I can get it. So yeah, let's just talk about what's happening this week, shall we? It's time for what's happening. That's where I tell you about some things that are going on around the world this week. My disclaimer, as usual, I'm only one person. I am not omnipotent. There are probably tons of things that are going around the world that I have not heard about. If there's something important to you that you think I should know about, please don't get mad. You can just shoot me a comment below and let me know about it. If it is still going on for next week, I will definitely mention it then. If not, I will make sure I put it on next year's list. And I'll also give you a bunch of other ways to contact me at the end of the video. But yeah, remember, we're trying to be happy and positive in 2024. But before we get started, if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Gretchen, the Tipsy Travel Gal. I am a licensed esthetician and a travel agent, and it is my goal to eat, drink, and spa my way around the world. I want to bring you, that's you, along with me and show you some really cool things to do, some interesting sights to see, and of course, delicious things to eat and drink. It's plastic, so it did make that fun ting sound. My ultimate hope is that it inspires you to travel, whether that be international or domestic. So if that sounds interesting to you, fantastic. Please subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, in the description of this video, I will include a link to my GoFundMe page. It also tells you a little bit about me, how I got to where I'm at and what I'm doing now and how I'm trying to move forward. So if you could check that out, I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, if you have any extra money to spare, which I know no one does right now, but if you happen to and you feel like donating, I would be eternally grateful. But let's get to the task at hand. We are going to talk about what's happening this week. So yeah, Carnival we've already got a couple Carnival celebrations in full swing. There's a lot of stuff happening this week, so let's get started. There's a lot to cover. Our first stop being Japan. The Sapporo Snow Festival started on February the 4th, and it runs all the way through 11th. And this is another winter festival, and it does focus on snow and ice sculpting like so many other winter festivals. But, I'll tell you, I talked about last week about how the Canadians, in particular the province of Quebec, how they love winter and they just know how to celebrate it. If there's somebody else in the world that loves to celebrate their seasons, it's Japan. And of course, just like everything else, they don't do it small. The Sapporo Snow Festival has 3 sites. The Adori site, where they have very large snow sculptures. And when I say large snow sculptures, I'm talking like buildings that are actual size. It's absolutely insane. The Susukino site, which is where the ice sculptures are located, and of course all of the competitions take place. And the Sudomi site, which is finally opening up after COVID. It hasn't been open for 4 years. They are coming back full force, ready to go. This is the play area that has things like snow slides, snow rafts. There's a ski jump hill. So if you go to the Sapporo Snow Festival, be prepared to get into winter. This one, I'm not quite sure. I think it's free. I could not find any ticketing information about it. I couldn't find any cost behind it. So I think this is free. I am sure you'll have to pay for certain things, like if you want to ride the snow slide or to do the ski jump. But I think the actual festival itself is free of charge. So if somebody knows something different, please let me know, because I did some searching and couldn't find anything. If you'd like to celebrate Winter in a very unique experience, head on over to Sapporo, Japan. Now let's head to Carnival, and we're going to go to Spain. Sitges is in Catalonia, a very small seaside village, but on February 8th, it becomes party central, because for the 8th through the 14th, Carnival's there. It is the largest carnival celebration in Catalonia, and is actually one of the largest in Europe. From my reading, it seems like pretty much anything goes 24/7, the 8th through the 14th. They had some really fun things too, like they had a bed race, which just made me laugh. But they have two huge parades called, and I'm not making this up, debauchery and extermination. Extermination happens on Fat Tuesdays. That's kind of like the culmination of the party before everybody has to be on their best behavior for Lent. Now, this is known as one of the safest street carnivals in Europe. So if you're looking to have a party and are kind of nervous around larger crowds, Sitges may be the place to go. Sitges is also the self-professed gay capital of Europe, so obviously this carnival is very LGBTQ plus friendly. It is very similar to Mardi Gras in New Orleans. It is completely child-friendly during the day. So they do have smaller parades and parties and stuff throughout the day that are children-friendly. If you've ever been to New Orleans, they have all the family parades where the kids come out. But then, things get kind of wacky on Bourbon Street. So, yeah, so same thing applies to Sitges. It's children-friendly during the day, and then anything goes at night. If you feel like going to a beautiful seaside village in Spain, head to Carnival on the 8th. Now we're going to head to Taiwan and see some cherry blossoms. The Wuling Farm Cherry Blossom Festival runs February 8th through the 29th. Now, I know you're like, wait, cherry blossoms? Yes, cherry blossoms usually come into bloom in Japan in mid-March, but we're talking Taiwan. They're farther south and they're warmer than Japan. Therefore, their cherry blossoms bloom earlier. This year, they determined that the peak is going to be February. In fact, they've already had some blossoms start to show up in January. Wuling Farm is a very small and remote resort. It is an incredibly long drive from either of the major cities that surround it. And the small roads that lead to it get very congested during cherry blossom season. It is highly recommended that if you want to do something like this, that you do a tour out of Taipei. It's a large city. There will be more places for you to stay, and you won't have to worry about getting transportation to and from Wuling Farm. That being said, you can stay on site. You can stay at Wuling Farm. However, this time of year, it's going to be very crowded. I don't even know if you can get a room at this point. And I would definitely highly recommend using a travel agent. Getting to Taiwan is going to be an experience. And then you're going to have to get from the airport to the resort. So yeah, I would definitely recommend going through a travel agent who can not only arrange and find you reasonable airfare, but also help you determine if you need visas, what kind of documentation, and get you from the airport to Wuling Farm. Now, once you're there, not only do you have the cherry blossoms, but they also have cherry blossom hikes. There are cultural sites and historical sites on the premises. So whether you stay there or not, it's going to be an amazing experience. Also, Taipei might be a better option because there are cherry blossoms in other areas of Taiwan. So you can take multiple trips to see cherry blossoms while you're there. But it is now time to go to the place everyone talks about this time of year. Let's head to Brazil. Carnival in Rio starts the 9th and runs all the way through the 14th. However, some celebrations still continue on through the 17th. But however, the 14th is when all the parades and things like that end. Like most other carnivals, this is leading up to Ash Wednesday. Now, Rio's carnival is all based around the samba. Not only does the dancing matter, but their outfits will tell a story. Now, Sunday and Monday are the biggest days of carnival for the parades because that's when all the samba dance schools come out to perform. A lot of the parades and things just kind of got scattered throughout the city, but because so many people started coming to Rio de Janeiro for carnival, they built the Sambodromo. This is a huge viewing area that has a street down the center, so everyone comes through the area. People sit in the pavilions and the bleachers and watch the parade come down. So there's really no massive street parades anymore. There might be small ones here and there, but just for the crush of people, if you're going there to see these parades, you're going to need to get tickets into the Sambodromo. The street parties themselves, they're free, but like I said, you're going to have to purchase tickets to get in to see the big parades, especially the ones where the samba schools are performing. I'll be honest with you, they were sold out months ago. So if you wanted to go next year, you want to book way, way ahead and get your tickets way ahead. Probably also a really smart idea to get your accommodations ahead as well. Now that's of course the parades, but if you're looking for parties, there are tons of parties that go on throughout the week, but no more than the Belmont Copacabana Palace Hotel, where they have the Magic Ball. This is the premier carnival ball to get into. This is one gigantic samba party, and if you're a single, don't worry about going there. You're going to find dance partners. This is a black tie affair, but the women can also do luxury costumes, and some of these outfits are very elaborate. By the way, these tickets are not cheap. The cheapest tickets, which are like $500, yeah, you don't get to have a seat. You have to stand all night. So again, something to think about, prepare for, and, save for if you want to do that for next year. We got a couple more carnivals starting, but before we move on to those, let's go to Chile for a little competition. February 9th through the 17th is the Tapati Rapa Nui Festival to promote the Rapa Nui culture. Now, this festival is a series of competitions, and it goes during the day and night. These competitions include things like dancing, singing, swimming, canoeing, horse racing, hakape, we'll talk about that in a second, and even a triathlon. Hakape, now I've put down my water because I'm going to read to you the very simple rules of the hakape. The rules of this are simple. You stand naked, but for a loincloth, on the top of a 300-meter tall volcano. You then hold on to 2 banana tree trunks that are tied together with twine that you fashion, and then jump feet first and ride down the volcano, reaching speeds of 50 miles per hour, where you come skidding to a stop in front of a whooping crowd. Does that not sound amazing? And before you even ask the question, of course there are accidents every year. I mean, you have to be like super brave to do something like that. Now, there are 2 female candidates picked, and they compete against each other. So they do every single one of the events, and whoever has the highest score becomes queen of the Tapati for the year. All events to the Tapati Rapa Nui Festival are free to attend. However, it's expensive to go there during high season. Of course, this festival happens during high season. I did a quick check. It costs like $1,900 plus 24 hours to get there. So I would highly recommend contacting a travel agent to help you get down there. There are tour companies that will help get you there for this festival. Something else happening this week is Chinese New Year. So off to Hong Kong we go. Now, the Symphony of Lights actually already happens every night. It is an interactive light show with 43 buildings, and should I say 43 skyscrapers, because these aren't like buildings. Hong Kong Island and the Kowloon side participate. I actually have seen the Symphony of Lights. Of course, I was there in 2016. 2017, they actually added a musical score that is produced by the Hong Kong Philharmonic Orchestra. Every night at 8 p.m., the music begins, and so does the light show that is coordinated with the score. Now, obviously, if you're going to Hong Kong, you'll probably be there more than one night. So I would say Watch it from each side. So watch it from the Kowloon side, watch it from the Hong Kong Bay side, because it's two completely different types of buildings. The Kowloon side doesn't have as many skyscrapers. So if you're watching it from Hong Kong Island the first night, you definitely want to catch it from the Kowloon side as well. Some of the best places to catch it are the Tsim Sha Tsui Waterfront Center, as well as the Hong Kong Cultural Center. Now, this show is free for public consumption. Now, you're probably asking yourself, Gretchen, if this goes on year-round, every night, why are we talking about it now? So Chinese New Year starts on the 10th. I actually have been in Hong Kong for Chinese New Year. It was an amazing experience. The light show will change specifically for Chinese New Year celebrations, as well as the amount of decorations and things you can just see in Hong Kong for the Chinese New Year. It's amazing. They have frequent dragon parades. It's just a sight to see and a great place to experience that. An added bonus this year is the Year of the Dragon. The dragon is the only mythical creature in the calendar, and it stands for authority, honor, and dignity. Now, I myself am the Year of the Pig, and it's apparently supposed to be one of the luckiest signs, but yeah, I haven't gotten any of that luck yet. So anyway, there are a lot of different places to celebrate the Chinese New Year. I personally would highly recommend Hong Kong. Now let's go back to carnival celebrations, because there's a lot more to come. We are going to head to Colombia. The Carnival de Barranquilla starts on the 10th and runs through February 13th, one of the shorter ones. Colombia has a very large percentage of Catholics, so this is definitely a celebration that leads up to Lent. It also focuses on the culture and folklore of Colombia. Now, all the parades themselves are overseen by the Queen of Carnival. But on the first day of Carnival, they do select a king. But I kind of feel like the Queen's probably just a wee bit more important. There are street dances and musical parades. There's also masquerade parades. The music for their carnival celebrations is very important. They focus on the salsa, but there also is the Spanish paleo and the African Congo. Let's just talk about these 4 days. So day one is traditionally one of the most important days of the carnival. It is called the Battle of the Flowers Parade. It is overseen by the Queen, and think of it like the Tournament of Roses Parade in Pasadena on New Year's Day. The floats are ornate and all made out of flowers. Day number 2 is the Great Parade, which showcases all of the dancing. Day 3 is the Great Fantasy Parade. So think masquerade costumes, all that kind of good stuff. Plus it is the Orchestra Festival. And day 4 is actually Fat Tuesday. Now, this is an interesting thing that they do. Basically, they think of the parade and the festival dying at the end of the festival, and then it is to be resurrected for the next year. So at the end of the final day, the people all begin to die in the streets to be resurrected for the party next year. I have to be honest, I kind of would like to see that. Before the spectators were on the sides of the roads, now they have boxes, pavilions, whatever you want to call them. You don't need tickets, but if you pre-purchase tickets, you will get in the stands near the bathrooms, which apparently is very important. Now, by the way, if you're thinking it's a town called Barranquilla, Colombia, how many people do they actually get for this celebration? Last year, 4.3 million people were there. So yeah, get those tickets if you want to go. But let's head back to Spain, because we've got another carnival festival there as well. Madrid starts their carnival on the 10th and runs it through the 14th. There are a lot of dress-up events, meaning costumes, black tie events. It is meant for all ages, and there are a whole bunch of street parties that you can attend. Obviously, they have the regular parades with the floats. They also have dance and costume competitions. Now, Madrid's carnival ends with the Funeral of the Sardine. This parade procession takes you to the Casa de Campo, where you bury a sardine for it to be reborn. It symbolizes a burial of the past and then allows for rebirth and transformation into the new year. It's actually memorialized in a very famous Francisco Goya painting called Burial of the Sardine. I love the concept. Sardines are interesting. Now, a lot of the local restaurants and cafes, they have their own take on the Burial of the Sardine. They call it the El Cortejo de la Sardina. So if you're looking for a unique experience in Spain and you don't feel like heading to that small seaside town, Madrid's the place to go for Carnival. The last two things we're going to talk about are Chinese New Year celebrations. Let's start in Thailand. The Spring Festival in Bangkok is only on the 10th. Now, Chinese New Year is not a public holiday in Thailand. There is a population of 7 million Chinese in Thailand, so a lot of people celebrate it. Now, on January 1st, people stay home to rest, but they go all out on Chinese New Year. They flood the streets, and they're usually all dressed in red. They go to the temples and the shrines, and they pray for a good and happy New Year, followed by dragon parades, and the streets are lined with food stalls. Now, one of the best places to experience this is, and I'm going to try to pronounce it correctly, Yaowarat. So that neighborhood is the Chinatown of Bangkok. This is the most popular area for it. They actually close off the streets, which is a pretty big deal to do in Bangkok. So yes, if you are planning on being in Bangkok for the Chinese New Year, definitely head to that area for the festivities. Last but not least, we are going to head to China for Chinese New Year. Now, obviously, Chinese New Year is a big deal in China. It's a public holiday, everybody has off, and a lot of people on the 10th head to Jinli Street. This is a very famous and ancient street in Chengdu. The Wuhu Temple is very close, so people will go to the temple and then they head to Jinli Street. Now, this street is known for its shopping. There is a lot of local products there. There's not a lot of mass-produced things that are there. It's a lot of handmade products and, of course, food, both street food and gourmet. Now, while you're there, you will also be taking in the amazing architecture of the Qing dynasty. Now, this area is also very well known for street operas. They definitely become the epicenter for these things during the holidays. Normally, visiting this street is free. You just walk up and down and you shop and you eat. However, because of the large celebrations that they have there, being so close to the temple as well, they do charge 30 yuan, but it's only $4. So I would say if you're in China and you head to Chengdu for this celebration, it's definitely worth the money. And that's it for this week. Good gravy. Did this video take me a long time to make with all the pronunciations? Woo! Thank you so much for watching. Remember, if there's something you think I should mention, definitely comment below the other places that you can go. You can go to any of my social media accounts. I am Tipsy Travel Gal on all the major platforms. Also, go to tipsytravelgal.com. There is a contact me page that also has a link to send me an email. Again, thank you. I hope you guys all have a great deal, and happy Carnival and happy Chinese New Year to everyone. Bye.